The following is a Much More Music special presentation. With Chris Cornell, I'm Tracy Melshore, and tonight, Chris Cornell is here for you. He'll be performing some tracks off his new CD, Carry On, as well as some classic Soundgarden tunes. And he'll also be answering your questions via phone, email, and text. Basically showing you why, after over 2 decades in the music industry and selling over 20 million albums worldwide, he's still one of the greatest and hottest singer-songwriters out there. Please welcome Chris Cornell. one more time for Chris Cornell, and stay tuned to M3 because we're going to have more music from Chris, some of his solo stuff, as well as some more Soundgarden. Plus, we're going to find out if there really will be a Soundgarden reunion, and we're going to find out why Chris ran away to France. Much more music live. Chris Cornell continues after the break. If you would like to get live with Chris Cornell, call 1-800-265-6824. Email him at chriscornell@muchmoremusic.com or send keyword CC to 70707 to text, which is 75 cents per message.
I never intended on being a singer, and just figured that now I would have this great career as a drummer.
Soundgarden, the coolest band in the world.
I thought a lot about how lucky I was to come from the scene that I came from in Seattle.
We are invincible. We are rock stars.
We are Audio Slave, and we are honored and privileged to be the first American band to play Cuba.
The only responsibility I've ever felt in creating music is that I'm inspired in what I'm doing.
You know, it's not me against the world fighting for my piece of something anymore. For someone like me, you know, all those dreams came true.
Suddenly I can see everything that's wrong.
Welcome to Much More Music Live with Chris Cornell. I'm sitting here with the man himself, and as you can see, the crowd is just going wild. Pandemonium. Pandemonium. What a great show. And I know you didn't hear a word of what I just said.
No, no.
You didn't. Welcome.
I didn't hear a damn thing you said at all.
But that's a good noise. That's a great
amazing.
noise. That's
Thank
great
you.
noise.
Yeah.
Chris, looking at that tape, you just seem to be very content, very happy. Does this new album, Carry On, have anything to do with that happiness?
It has a lot to do with it, really. You know, the title itself kind of speaks it. Just the 13th album, the Carrying On in my career, the amount of joy that just went into making it, just the actual songwriting. The process was fantastic. And I really saw a sort of a glimpse into my future when I was writing for this record, when I was making this record, at home with my family, my children and my wife, just working on music that I loved, and you know, in a sense, kind of had an epiphany that this is the way the rest of my life can be, if that's what I want. And I'm lucky to be around making music still. So this record is really kind of a turning point in that sense of just the first day of the rest of my life.
Really. You mentioned turning points, and you know, you've been in a band or two in the past few years, and 1999, though, was actually the last release, solo release for you, Euphoria Morning. And I'm wondering how much transition and how much has your life changed personally and professionally in those last 8 years?
Completely, entirely. I mean, everything about it. I don't know. There's really very little that is the same, with the exception of some of the songs that I play on the stage, and that's it. I don't really have any of the same friends or any of the same people in my life. I'm happily married with babies, and that's my entire focus, really, besides music. My lifestyle, just in terms of like just abusive behavior to myself and self-destructive behavior, is completely behind me, and that has a lot to do with just kind of a focus. Just when I look at a lot of old footage of myself, whether I'm speaking or playing music, you know, I think back, and a lot happened in a really short period of time. And most of it didn't really register. I was always sort of thinking about tomorrow. And the idea of slowing down didn't make any sense to me. now, in every way except for the actual music and the actual performing and recording music, it's not so much of a slowing down, but just kind of a stopping and looking around and taking each day as being something that I'm lucky to have and I'm thankful to have.
When I first got your new disc, Carry On, you know, I always have to scan the song titles before I actually put it into my player. Mm-hmm. And track 8, I did a doot-doot double take, you know, really. Billie Jean. I said, Chris Cornell singing a Michael Jackson song. This is great. You know, why did you decide to cover that song?
Well, when I wrote that for Michael, I was 12, and Q called me and he said, yeah, Cornell, we need a song for this kid because he can't, you know, he doesn't really have any song he can do is really dance. But he does this really cool dances backwards, but it looks like he's going forward thing. And I said, I got a song for that. No. that song kind of ended up on the record just because of how much fun it was just to tweak it and twist it around and turn it into something that I thought sort of lended weight to the lyric and just to the soulfulness that's kind of was lost in that song when they decided to make it a dance track. And I just like experimenting with music.
Works, it works. You've said in the past that as a songwriter in a band, you felt that you had to let and make the music relate to the other members. Yeah. Making this Chris Cornell album and writing it, was it liberating for you?
You know, I've always been able to do things sort of outside of whatever the context of the band I'm in is. So I've always felt pretty free and pretty open. And of course this record is no exception. I mean, really, the main thing is that I think when you're in a band, no matter what band you're in or what part you play in that band, there may be a song that is your favorite song, and you'll have this anxiety while it's being created that this might not end up on the record because the other 3 or 4 guys might not like it. Working on my own and writing songs for this record, any whimsical idea I had or any direction I went in where I just had that gut feeling that this is me, I believe in this music and I love this song, there was no anxiety at all because it's going on my record if I like it. And that's good.
It's great. We've got an audience question for you from Chris. Chris?
Hey, I was just wondering what it felt like to have Johnny Cash cover Rusty Cage.
It was one of the highlights of my life, really. I was 9 years old, and my brother Peter came home with Live in San Quentin, and we listened to that record for like weeks and weeks and weeks. And he was kind of like a mythical person to me. It seemed like he was 11 feet tall, and when he spoke, there was an earthquake. And it's one of the few times when I imagined myself as a child, and if somebody told me, someday this guy's going to be singing one of your songs, I wouldn't have believed it. It's like a fairy tale kind of. And I'm not particularly reverent, but when it comes to something like that, it was a huge deal for me.
Now we have a phone call from one of your fans in Hamilton. Heather, do you have a question for Chris?
Yeah, I do. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
I just want to say, though, the show's sounding awesome so far. I'm a huge fan, always have been. I think you easily have one of the most powerful voices in rock history.
Thank you.
I was wondering, since you've been in the industry a long time now, and I was wondering what the worst part of the music business has been for you.
Really, the business part. That whole word business, I mean, no matter what, it's kind of what Mike Borden from Faith No More always referred to as the poison of what it is that we do. And the fact of the matter is, as much as I would have always loved to kind of stay out of that end of it, I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't have to occasionally butt heads with it. And like anybody, I've had difficulties in it. When I feel like the musician, the artist, the songwriter should be able to just go and do what it is that they do. And not have to worry about it when they're paying someone else to take care of that side of it. It doesn't always work that way. And often people, including myself, have been taken advantage of in that situation when they least expected it. And, that's the aspect about it that I hate. But also at the same time, there is a component of the music business that has brought everything that I've done and recorded to you and everyone else that is a member of my fan base. So I have to be thankful for that, and I have to deal with it.
And you're going to deal with the cold Canadian weather. Would you mind coming out and talking to some of your fans? They've been waiting hours to see you.
I think I'm ready for that.
And we've got a question out here. Megan, you've got a question for Chris?
I was just wondering how becoming a father has shaped or influenced your musical direction.
I think it's shown up in my lyrics a lot. There's certain songs that I wouldn't have written if it wasn't for being a parent now. Certain things that I think about every day and concerns, and then also like a refocusing on the innocence of what it is that I do has entirely to do with my babies, just watching how they live in the moment and enjoying that and kind of focusing that on songwriting, where I'll get up in the morning to write a song and I'll just follow any whimsical idea that I have to the end. And there are songs on my new record that are that.
It's beautiful. And we're going to have much more music live with Chris Cornell after the break. Don't go anywhere.
I don't mind stealing bread. I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of
This is much more music live with Chris Cornell. We promised you more music, and now we're about to deliver on that promise. Please give it up for Chris Cornell.
shoe, walk and sleep. In my youth I pray to keep heaven send away. No one sings like you anymore. Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole in my head, drown my fear, tell you I'll just disappear. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole sun,
What an amazing performance. We're going to have more with Chris Cornell after the break. Plus, we're going to find out just when he knew Audio Slave was over. Much more Music Live continues after this.
in my eyes, indisposed, in disguises no one knows. Has the chains around, she's going to chains around.
I don't think that Ed's ever reached a mega superstar. I tend to be alone more than anyone I've ever met, but I don't know, I wouldn't call myself a loner. I think there's such a thing as a life to your image and a life to your sound, and if there isn't some kind of mystique, some future layers to tear off, then people might not have interest. It's like the new direction of music publicity. If Jay-Z can be on the side of a building, so can I.
You know my name.
everybody to some degree is a goofball.
I put my hair in a light socket.
Well, you do it long enough and you realize, no, this is really cool.
When you return to the light, if you think you
This is much more Music Live with Chris Cornell. Yes, it is very alive in here. The new disc is called Carry On, and we're very excited about what the new CD means for you, Chris. Very excited about what the new CD means for you in your future. But I want to take it back a little bit. You know, in February, we all got the news that Audio Slave had broken up. And when did you know that it was over?
February.
Same time we did?
Yeah, I was sort of feeling like there was no need for statements like we're not going to do anything anymore. Because I've always felt in the back of my mind, like, you never know, and maybe we'll do something some other time. And then when I was wrapping up the recording of my record, I felt like, you know what, I really believe in this, and this is what I really want to do from now on, and just make solo records. So it's not fair to go and present my new album and not tell people how I really feel and what I really have in mind and what I really want to do. And that's it. You know, I want to move on and have a solo career. I had a great time with Audio Slave, like I had a great time with Soundgarden. For one record, had a great time with Temple of the Dog, and put a lot. Thank you. Put a lot into all of those things. But there's just so much to do in music, and I want to do everything I can think of to do before I die. I want to make a lot of records and experiment with music a lot. So. I'm moving on.
And I'm asking this for all your fans out there. I've been on a lot of your fan sites, and they're thinking that, the breakup of Audio Slave was going to equal a Soundgarden reunion or even a disc. But any thoughts for all of them?
Yeah, they're not so good at math. Divided by a solo record plus 2 television equals no.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. The man has spoken. The man has spoken. You really are a groundbreaking artist. A lot of firsts for you. The first American band to play Cuba. The first Seattle grunge band to be signed by a major label. The first American man to sing a James Bond title song for Casino Royale.
Yeah, that's true. Wow.
So the question is, what's your next first?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, right now we're playing songs as a band that have actually never been performed live before. So there's firsts every day for me now. We're doing songs that either I or songs on Soundgarden records that had never been done live before. And I'm just having the time of my life with my band, just playing all of this music and kind of cracking open 20 years of it, as well as a brand new record of 14 songs to play. And this is the most fun that I've really ever had, playing shows, doing long sets, and really being able to stretch out musically. It's kind of maybe what I've been working for years and years and years.
You're living in France now, a long way from Seattle, both geographically, and professionally, musically. What took you there?
Well, I met my wife Vicky there, and I quickly, immediately after meeting her, every week or whatever I had off, I would fly back to Paris to see her, and fell in love with her, and then fell in love with Paris, and didn't want to leave, and she didn't want to leave either, and we got married there, and just kind of stayed there, and started our family there.
Your life is a lot different than when you first started in the music industry, a couple decades ago. You're married, kids. How difficult is that to pick up and leave and go on the road? Or do you bring them with you on the road?
We bring them every chance we get. They're kind of, since they've been born, traveling. I mean, our daughter was born, literally, we were just sort of waiting until the doctor said, yes, it's okay, you can take her on a plane, and she's safe, she's not going to get sick. We were sitting in the passport agency trying to get her a passport immediately, right after she was born. They're very comfortable traveling. It's just part of their childhood. And I wouldn't be traveling around the world and doing what I do if I couldn't be with them for intervals. I would stay home. So it's having them with me and having my wife with me is super important. But because we're that type of a family that likes adventures and travels. It's not a juggling act, juggling my career with my family. They're all a part of it. It's all one and the same.
Lovely. Love to hear that. We've got another audience question. Shane has got a question for Chris.
What's up, Shane?
Yes, I do. First of all, I want to say welcome back to Toronto.
Thank you.
Second of all, you wrote a song for the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack called Someone to Die For, which is ultimately performed by somebody else.
Yeah, actually, I didn't write that song.
Oh.
I sang on a demo of that song, and some...
Fire who is.
Someone said a bad thing, but it's not fair. Journalists have said the same thing to me, so don't feel bad.
Hey. Next question, I guess.
Okay. Moving on to an email question. Hey, Chris, what made you want to write You Know My Name from Casino Royale, and why are there 3 different versions?
Really, it was a phone call saying, would you like to do a song for the new James Bond film? And at first, I didn't know that it wasn't going to be like another sort of normal James Bond production with Pierce Brosnan or whoever, and I wasn't interested at all. And then I found out that Daniel Craig was going to be the new James Bond. Then I was familiar with his acting in like British indie film work, and I just put 2 and 2 together and thought this could be really incredible. So my wife and I went and saw, a short edit of the film. They'd filmed like 2/3 of it, and we saw that, and I just thought it was great. And after that, it was really, I was working really hard because I wanted to be the guy that wrote that song. And really, there's only one version of it. There are just different mixes. The straight up rock version was done by David Arnold and I, who we co-wrote and produced it and played all the instruments on it, really. And then it was like the 4th day of recording. He did an orchestral score, which he put on there. And so there's a version with it and there's a version without it, and that's it.
Is he your favorite Bond, Daniel Craig?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I go back and forth with Sean Connery, Daniel Craig, but it's really 2 different kind of movies.
Yeah. It's a darker movie, less campy than the ones in the past.
It is. It's dark.
Okay, we've got a text question. Hi, Chris. What is the album or song you've made throughout your musical career that is your favorite to perform? Thank you, Steve.
You know what? I don't have favorites, Steve. I really like, from one night to another, it could be a different song. Not even albums, really. I mean, my latest album is usually my favorite, and I love Carry On, and all the songs that we're performing from it are great to perform, so I'll say that, Carry On.
Okay, there you go. In making this, making Carry On, was the songwriting process different for you? Married, living overseas, having kids, was it a different process?
My kids wrote it all, really. I didn't do much. It's just like, come on in, here's a microphone. It was and it wasn't. I mean, no matter what, I think when I write songs, I have to sit down and sort of create the music and imagine it and imagine where it will go. But previously in my lifetime, when I've done that alone, it's usually been in sort of dark places and dark atmospheres where I spent a lot of time alone and didn't necessarily always have a great time doing it. The difference now in like writing for Carry On is that I enjoyed the whole process. I enjoyed working at home, in the spare bedroom with my family there, with my children there. I can hear in the background. That actually helped my concentration because it wasn't like, something where I had to wake up and think about going off to a studio alone, that had a huge impact. And also I think the experience, 20 years of experience, it's just every time I make a record or write for it, in a sense gets easier because I have experience to draw from.
Okay, do you mind joining me to the window again to meet some more of your fans? I know children bring a whole new perspective. And sign autographs, take some pictures?
Sure.
Okay. We'll have more with Chris Cornell live, more music. More questions, more fans. Don't go anywhere. Much more Music Live continues. Cornell. Oh, we've got lots of music tonight, and we've got one more performance for you. This one is going to be hot, trust me. Give it up for Chris Cornell.
I don't mind stealing bread from my house of decadence. But I can't feed on the powerless when my cup's already overfilled. Yeah. But it's on the table, the fire's cooking, and the farming babies while slaves are working. The blood is on the table and the mouths are choking. I'm going hungry, yeah.
Much More Music Live. Chris Cornell, thank you so much for coming tonight. Amazing performance. Really, continued success. Carry On, hit stores June 5th. And I just want to say goodnight. Thanks for tuning in to Much More Music Live with Chris Cornell. Want to come out and find some autographs? We got a star for you. Say hi. Say hi over here.